Stranger Things actor convinces woman to send 10 grand. Which... this is a little bit nuts. Oh. And when I first saw this title earlier, I was like, oh, you know what? We've watched quite a few of these romance scams over the last couple of streams. I was like, there's got to be some more where other more famous people or IP is getting involved. Oh, sarcasm. Right, don't tell us what it was for yet, but say I'm really glad that you had a good job interview today. That's what matters, mate. If you've done a good interview, then that's awesome. Let us know later, you know. Do you know when you'll find out? We need to know when you will find out, because we can find out then. Melby, hello. Oh, Kel, what have you ordered from Greg's? What have you got from Greg's? Come on, we need to know. November 13th. Ah! Yeah, life. We got another silly person sending money to someone famous, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to jump straight on into this now. Die, hello. And yeah, there's so many things going on with this. It's just mind-blowing, really.
I am obsessed with Stranger Things. But the thing is, when I tallied it all up, it was $10,000-ish. I told my ex-husband, I said, listen, I said, it's not working out. I said, you're not letting me be me. You're not letting me be free. I said, I think you need to leave. So he left. Within 2 months, he was gone.
She broke up a marriage for
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
Sorry, folks, just got to pause up by there. Cal, that is an elite order. The sausage rolls, the sausage and bean bake, and the hot sandwich. Oh, yeah. See, straight away, that's just God level. Yeah, this is... and the pink ice donuts. Oh, my favorite thing from Greg's is the Yum Yums. I just can't get enough. That's why I don't go to Greg's, because I'd be fatter than what I am. But
why
yeah,
does this famous
nuts.
guy need money from you, Michaela?
See, I wondered that too. Until he starts doing things that make me believe that he is who he is.
Ah, no. Come on. You cannot be this
On today's
dumb.
episode,
I'm going to move the chat just
Michaela
under my
about
name.
Her online relationship with the actor Dacre Montgomery, aka Billy from Stranger Things.
Why?
The two met on a forum over a year ago, but have never met in person. She is now having doubts about everything after funding Dacre's life for over a year. Dacre claimed he needed money until he broke up with his girlfriend, and this was the only way he would be able to finally leave her to be with Michaela. Let's jump into it and see if we can help her out. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
I really don't understand how, like, she goes, oh, well, you know what? I thought that we could do this. It's like someone who is in Stranger Things. Now, oh, Melby, Yum Yum. Right, folks, I just got to get a Yum Yum up to show Yum Yum Greg's. It's basically a donut. And, that's a Yum Yum there. Oh, they are so good. They are so good. They are so good.
My name is Kayla. Hi, Social Catfish. I'm an artist. I work in film and I do a lot of editing. I do a lot of production and stuff like that.
First of all, have you noticed everyone that we've been seeing about this, they all seem to work in the industry that these other people are conning them from. You know, it's like, what is... I really don't understand. So we've had this one here. We had the other one who's a graphic artist. And she goes, oh, I know his Johnny Depp's tattoos off by heart. But then she's like, oh, I didn't notice the tattoos are wrong. It really... Oh. I don't know. It really just grinds my bones. It really does. It grinds my gears.
Also act as a hobby, so that's pretty fun. So I'm on both sides of the camera there. I am a single mom from Kentucky. I have a daughter who's about to turn 7. I have been a single parent pretty much since she's been born. I'm separated from my husband. He's estranged, I guess you could put it that way. He lives over 500 miles away. We separated because he was very toxic.
Michaela has always been an artistic
Toxic
person.
as in
During
how?
her marriage, she felt her husband was limiting her creativity, so she decided to express her art online.
It was on a forum. It was on an artist forum.
She joined a forum where she could meet other creative people.
Could very well be true.
It all began.
On Reddit. Well, we'll wait. We'll go through
Anyone who has anything to do with art could be in it. This guy messaged me. He was under a different username. Me and him get to kind of talking, and then he admits that he is an actor, like a well-known actor. And of course, here I am thinking, oh, well, he's going to say he's Johnny Depp or something. He tells me.
Why is it that they all think it's Johnny Depp when they...
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Michaela, who thought she may have been talking to Johnny Depp, but it wasn't. These people, man. These people. And I just realized I've got the wrong FX on.
We were meant to go on to this one. But you know what, though?
This didn't sound too bad. I must admit, it sounds okay. Yeah, it's... you know what? It's Reddit. Exactly, sarcasm.
He's Dacre Montgomery. That's like one of my favorite actors. And me and him just really hit it off, but of course,
I wonder how they found out he was one of the favorites.
Until he starts doing things that make me believe that he is who he is.
Upon receiving an email from Michaela,
you know what, sarcasm, that's very true.
We arranged a call with her to delve deeper into the matter and gather additional information. We approached this interview like any other case. Our primary objective was to understand the underlying reason driving Michaela to think that this was the real Dacre.
I am obsessed with Stranger Things. Billy is just this bully. He kind of comes in, tries to dominate, which is totally unlike his actual personality.
What's the reason that you guys aren't able to meet face to face?
Well, see, okay, that's
one thing I love doing with the COC, Mel. We just chatting with all this fun.
He was venting to me after a few months about his partner.
Yes, she is willing to
saying she's very controlling
fund someone
of him.
else.
He doesn't get to do the things he wants to do. You know, she's always there. She's always got to supervise. And I kind of empathize with that because my ex-husband was that way.
There we go.
At about a year after.
That is the get-in right by there. Oh, you know, she could have put down in that Reddit post about her, her ex-husband died. He's now out of the picture. We had to do this. We had to do that. And now she's like, oh, the person she's speaking to, oh, it felt like she was running my life. There's the in. And she probably posted as well to other people about Stranger Things. They could have gone into a profile on Reddit because, again, you can see what other people... Right, okay, what are they posting? Where are they doing it to? What are they liking? Kel, yeah. Yeah, social engineering sarcasm is exactly what we've been doing over the last couple of days, looking into it. You know what? This is why sometimes, even though I stream a lot and, say videos and everything else, sometimes... it's like I got accounts which maybe, like just my name, CGS or whatever, and I try not to put a lot of things in there. Like I was saying to you the other day, I had, Amazon Prime Video get in touch, and I was like, well, first of all, very skeptic, like we've been talking about. Checked them up, it was legit. I emailed them, and they were like, no, it is us. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to give you access to my Twitter where you can send a tweet. That's where I'm like, oh, no there. But with these ones, a couple of text messages, you know what? I'm going to send you $10,000. Where are these people for all of us? You know? It's like, oh, it really blows my mind. It really does.
After we kind of admitted feelings for each other, he said, you know, there's nothing like, you know, the feeling of love when it's reciprocated. And I said,
100% a child should be the main priority for it,
and
especially with
like,
10 grand.
Okay, well, I'm kind of stupid about this. I was like, what do you mean asking me? And he said, I want you to be my girlfriend. And he was just like, but you got to keep it quiet. He said, because, you know, I'm still with Liv. And he was like, but I'm not technically with her. He said they had broken up.
Did he ever post anything that they were broken up at that time, or?
There were things I noticed. Basically, at the time that he said that they had broken up, he said they'd been broken up for about 6 months. And I went back into his past history, like on his Instagram and things.
And what comes up?
Romantic sort of, you know, flirty messages that they would send to each other, like, you know, post about each other, had stopped within that time period. They weren't doing Valentine's Day posts. They weren't doing birthday
this sort
posts.
Of thing in it.
He wasn't posting about her. She wasn't posting about him. The only thing that I have seen in the last 2 years
%, die.
of
So
those two
gullible.
posting about each other recently was a thing where she was posting about their 5-year anniversary.
A year of not talking to somebody on the phone is very long time, Michaela.
Yes.
That is one thing that was a huge red flag to me, but at the same time, I kind of understood, because he said where she was so controlling of him and he couldn't get away from her, like she's glued at his hip.
It's sad that these
he
people
wasn't able to call. He wasn't
do
able
exist,
to, you know, video chat and stuff like that.
And they do go after the ones who are gullible.
For months, Michaela had to make a choice. It was either her husband or Dacre. He told her this was the only way that they could be together.
Because he gave me the ultimatum after we had been together for a little while. He gave me an ultimatum. He said, listen, he said, it's either your husband, he said, or it's me. And I said, look, there's no competition. I said, you treat me better.
Right, so she's saying that you treat me better. They've never spoken on the phone. They've never FaceTime. All they do is send messages. Does, you know, this scammer, has he put a roof over your head? Is he feeding you and your child? Is he going to work? Is he, you know, getting things so you can eat? What? Absolutely nuts, innit? Oh, die, yeah. You know what? Let's have a look now. Yeah, Liv Pollock, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, which one down there? It's sad. It really is sad that she has been suckered into this trap, though, isn't it? Yeah, see, Glitter, hello, how are we? Yeah, so she's been suckered into it. She's literally over a year. They haven't spoken on the phone or anything. And she's like, oh, it's you. You treat me way better. I'll have him out the house soon. She's gullible, and to be honest with you, when it got to this point by here, it's either me or your husband. I'm going to fall for someone I just met on the internet who I've never spoken to, I've never seen to either. Oh, and it could be this person. Idiot.
So I told my ex-husband, I said, listen, I said, it's not working out.
Exactly,
I said, you're not
100%. It's so easy for people to do this.
I said, I think you need to leave. So he left. Within 2 months, he was gone. You know, my ex-husband is out of the house. I said, I'm separated from him. I said, there's no one here except for me and, you know, my daughter, Rain. I said, it's just us. I said, now it's your turn. I was like, if you're going to be with me, bitch. I said, you have to make efforts. I said, even if those efforts are just getting, you know, your own stuff away from her.
Dacre had agreed to leave his girlfriend to be with Michaela, but we wanted to know what exactly was making her think that this whole thing was real.
Yeah,
when
why?
Stranger Things season 4 came out, the day before it came out, he texted me and he said, hey, you need to watch episode 4. And he said, if you don't watch anything else, watch episode 4. And when it came out the next day, and he showed up in that episode. And I was like, well, who else would know that? And he would send me poems, which I am a poem reader. I've actually got his book here. And the poems that he was sending me are things that would go along with things like what his style of writing. And so that's another thing that kind of confused me.
Why does this famous guy?
It's amazing to see how so many people, they lose their husband or divorce or whatever just because someone has said, oh, it's either me or your husband. By the way, I'm this person. And you've never set your own eyes on them. That's the thing. The problem is as well, if any of you noticed, the ones that we've looked at, so the couple of Johnny Depp ones, and we got this one now, and say we looked at the Brad Pitt one as well the other day, we are now seeing that all these people, while they're doing these interviews with Catfished, they all seem, they're smiling and it's like, yeah, it's like, I'm in touch with you, but it's definitely them. Yeah, it's them. I would be ashamed if something like this happened. Again, I would warn others, real Pamster, hello! It's a lot of these people, you know, so we can see why. Obviously, why they would do it, because again, you know, social engineering, and there's also got a lot of love bombing as well. Oh, I love you for this. Oh, it's this. It's reciprocated. You know, it's like, come on. It's like, no. Do you really think someone in Hollywood is going to finish with their partner for you? That is the main thing that I look at about all of this. You know, it's sad as well to say, because like we say in the chat as well. For all we know, at the end of this, she could have been going to her husband. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, do you want to come back? And to be honest with you, she will more than likely stay single for the rest of her life now. Because how many views has this video got? This video has got 1.4 million views. And that's just on that channel alone. How many people have seen this? Like say, obviously, we're looking at it now. So there's a fresh bunch of eyes on it there. But then you're going to have all these other reaction channels, all these other people who stream. They're all going to be looking at this and more than likely have. And it's like, right, okay, no one's going to get with this person because it's literally like you fell for that. You know, it's like you left your husband because this person said that they loved you more than so-and-so, but you've never spoken to them or seen them before in your life. You know? But say, the two ladies with the Johnny Depp one, you know, the one who spent over $50,000. $50,000. And why is there police in my street? Okay. Yeah, it's $50,000 she spent, and the other one spent close to $10,000. It's absolutely insane that these people fall for it. Especially when you think of how many people have been done, and a lot of these like, well, I wanted to put my, just put my 2 cents in, and it happened to me, and I want to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else. Okay, great. Sorry to see that you got scammed, but the people who are going to see that you got scammed, they're going to be like, huh, well, I'm not going to fall for that. Then they do.
Need money from you.
Absolutely
Michaela.
nuts.
See, I wondered that too. And then he explained it. He said, if I try to use my bank account, she's over it. He said, it's, you know, joint. He said, so she keeps all the stuff.
Oh my God.
And he said, so I would have to ask her all the time. And I understood that point too, because my ex was very controlling over our money.
Have you noticed they've all said the same? Every single one we've looked at regarding this, it's sarcasm 100%. So with this here, it's again because the Johnny Depp ones, I haven't got any money or I can't get money. Can my friend send you money and then you send it to me? And it's like, what is going on? Astrid, I have no idea. I just saw him walking past and we hardly ever get police on the beat, so to say. They normally just go around in cars and everything else, but yeah, they're just walking past. Very interesting.
Well, then it kind of went on for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden he came back. He said, would I be able to ask you to help me here and there if I decided to, you know, separate from her? And I said, well, I can't help much. I said, but I can help a little bit here and there. Before I knew it, it was turning into $100 and $200 gift cards. But the thing is, when I...
Gift cards. She fell for the gift cards. Come on.
tallied it all up, it was $10,000-ish.
Dacre promised
exactly
all of the money she sent to him. He wanted to disconnect from his girlfriend Liv and claimed he needed to open up another bank account without her knowing until the relationship completely ended. Michaela was essentially funding
So what is gift cards going to do for her?
A year. He would even send her money in the form of gift cards and checks.
Exactly, she could have been.
He would get the gift cards like how I.
I'm sorry.
Her money
so
in
he
the
had
form
Google
of gift
Play.
Cards and check.
5,000. Oh my god.
Basically, he would get
Melby,
the gift cards like how I used to do. Like, I would get gifted gift cards and stuff all the time, and I would sell them for less than what they were worth, and I would, pocket the money. Well, that's kind of what he was doing. He said that he was going to start doing that so he could have a little bit of money for himself, like some pocket change, and he would, give them, and he would get money from them, and then he would pocket them.
First of all, why would his friends need gift cards? He's Hollywood, there is other friends and all this kind of stuff. More than likely are going to be not well off, or they may have a little bit of money themselves, but why?
Like if it was like a $200 gift card, he'd sell it for like $100, and then he would have $100 in his pocket.
Exactly, Di.
And when I done that, he wouldn't ask for money for another little while. So I was like, okay, if this is working, it's working for him, we'll just keep on doing that.
Michaela would deposit everything into her bank account and send it to Dacre through
Oh my God.
And now you understand why I had to contact you guys, because I'm like, it's not the typical scam.
Okay.
It's unique.
I mean, there's a lot of red flags here. It doesn't look the best.
One of the OG ones, yeah.
That 1% is still that hopeless romantic that's just holding on to, maybe this is the gentle guy I've been looking for, and maybe he is real. Maybe he will, return and be like a knight in shining armor,
We'll look into things for you, Michaela, and we'll get back to you, okay?
All right, I appreciate it, guys.
The next day, our team got together to go over all of Michaela's information.
We're going to do a little poll, guys. Oh, not Q&A. We don't want a Q&A. We want a poll. Right. We're going to put it out there, folks. Does she want the real Das to pay her back at the end? What are we thinking?
So, guys, this is Michaela. I know you guys had a chance to speak with her and look into her info. Any highlights?
I think one of the most compelling parts of this case and what made her believe that she was really talking to Dacre was the fact that he had details on Stranger Things season 4.
I think one thing we see like a lot with this and the Johnny Depp
everything
cases,
gets lipped.
I mean, it follows like a lot of the signs of romance scams. They're just trying to target younger people. So they're using celebrities, they isolate them. In her case,
exactly, chat. Exactly.
Where, like, I think that it was already
sarcasm 100%. They've all seemed to be like that
because she had allowed it. But this person gets involved, isolates her from her spouse, then falls in love with her really quickly. We saw a lot of the conversations. They were very surface level types of conversations. So things already weren't going that well beforehand.
So how do we move forward with this? I know Michaela is eagerly waiting our answers.
Virginia
I wonder why.
started to dig into all of Michaela's information and hopefully get some clarity and some answers on Dacre.
So for Michaela's
so what we got?
There's a lot of missing information, but we were able to
I like that painting behind them.
Some of her chats.
Okay, so what are we thinking?
There's this one chat in particular where he was telling her about his day and that he made lasagna. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he actually made it or not, so we can.
Why not? Does it look too delicious?
It looks too good. It looks way too good.
I gotta see this. I'm sorry.
Let's have a look at the lasagna.
Yeah. A picture of the lasagna? It looks good, huh?
It does look pretty good.
Look good.
I'm thinking I can just run a reverse image search and see what we come up with.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Reverse lasagna search?
Love it.
Put that on the shirt.
Lasagna. Oh my gosh.
Martha Stewart lasagna.
Oh no!
That exact photo.
A criminal using a criminal's photo.
Martha Stewart?
Yeah.
Martha Stewart. Martha
recipe.
Stewart. The exact.
Clever guy. Did she send over anything else we could look into?
There's this picture of a check that I think that it's worth digging into.
Okay, let's see.
So, is this the check that he sent her?
You know what? It is. Out of all of this, the one thing that, you know, we are making fun of it. We're calling these people stupid, but with this one in particular, I feel so sorry for her daughter. Liz, hello. Oh no, Liz, make sure you got the little bell icon. Click the bell. We're gonna be here. But yeah, out of all of this is the one I feel sorry for the most, is this lady's daughter. She has spent all this money, and again, sending a check to her and everything else. It's sad, you know, like, you know, you were saying in chat. This woman, with that 10 grand, she could have put that aside or whatever to help her daughter in the future, you know, like a college fund or something like that. And it's sad, you know, I feel so sorry for the kid. I really do.
And what's interesting is that it's a check made from her to her.
From Michaela to Michaela. Oh.
Oh.
All right, we gotta run a search on this. Just gonna go to socialcatfish.com and drop a picture of the check in and see if something comes up for the signature. All right.
Here we go.
54 matches found.
Whoa.
So it turned out to be fake?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
You know, actually, that wasn't the most compelling factor for Michaela. The reason she truly believes she's talking to Dacre is the fact that he leaked the season 4, episode 4 title to her just the day before it dropped. Is there any way we can look into that?
Yeah, because I'm pretty...
We can.
Definitely.
So with that, if I remember correctly, a week or so before Stranger Things comes out, they always drop how many episodes there are and the episode titles. I remember for season 4, the Hellfire Club, which was episode 1, I believe, that was put out there like a year in advance. So, you know, let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. Sally, hello! Yes, Sally, we are back. It's, what? 7th or 8th day streaming?
Stranger Things announces season 4 episode titles in new video.
There we go.
That was published November 2021. But he told her about it in May of 2022.
Yeah.
So you could have easily
found this and manipulated it and made it look like he knew some insider information when this is public information. It got leaked. Months before.
Stick around.
This is another thing with these sort of things. Again, they've been looking for it, and it's exactly the same as the Johnny Depp thing with the tattoos. She says, I'm a huge Stranger Things fan and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, if you're saying that you are a huge fan and you're obsessed with certain things regarding the series, you would have known that the titles would have been out there. You know? You would have known. Because the Johnny Depp situation with the tattoos. I memorized his tattoos. I know them all off by heart. Obviously, you didn't. Either they're lying to make themselves not look as bad, or they're making themselves just to be like, oh, I gotta make myself look better than what I am. With all of these catfishing. It's nuts.
Until the end. We'll go over everything that we found to Michaela.
So why would he send you a fake check, though, with a fake signature?
I have no idea.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We appreciate you so much.
Am I subscribed? Because to be honest, yeah, we are.
Over everything
because to be honest with you, these
team
are
looked at every
amazing
piece of
videos.
information you sent over. We have answers today, and we have a conclusion.
Well, in a perfect world, it would be true, and maybe
Melby
it would convince, you know, the powers be to get help.
I want to first start off with some facts on Dacre. So he makes around $150,000 per episode of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And they do about 8 episodes every season. You know, when you do the math on that, I mean, he's not hurting for money.
But what his excuse was, we have a joint account, and every time I try to make a purchase, she tries to take it back, and which I ran into that problem with my ex. So I kind of understood that. That's why I'm not going to immediately dismiss it. But at the same time, it was fishy.
Well, speaking of the relationship, we want to go over his relationship with
I haven't,
Liv.
Cal, no.
We found that they've been together since 2017.
He told me that they broke up somewhere around 2020, I think.
Okay.
Like mid-2020, somewhere in there. And he also told me she was supposed to be moving to his apartment January of the following year, 2021, and he did not. So that was the first red flag, major red flag.
Okay.
Especially I seen that they had posted, well, I can't remember who had posted. I think it was one of their friends had posted a photo of in their new house in LA. And when I confronted him about it, he was like, oh, well, you know, pretend and we have to make 9 million people or whatever think that we're together, or else someone's going to know something's wrong. And then that's going to look bad on me. So
when you compare the timelines in which he was saying those things to you, the internet says a completely different story. You know, we found articles all over the internet, them on the news, them in interviews, that shows that they have a healthy relationship.
We weren't able to find any evidence that Dacre's relationship with his girlfriend Liv was toxic in any way. It was true that Dacre and Liv do take long breaks of posting each other on social media. But this was just another way the scammer was able to manipulate Michaela into believing the relationship was rocky.
So we do want to dive into some of the searches that we ran. Can you tell me more about what the backstory on the check is?
Okay, so he had been paid apparently and he had his accountant send some money.
Accountant.
And a check. And he said, can you get it cashed for me? And I said, well, I cash it, you know, it's not my check. And he said, well, if it gets put into his account, and he was like, and then I take it out, could you cash it before she would have time to stop it? And I was like, well, I guess. I was like, I don't know what to do with it, you know? So I did it. I bank account and I deposited the check. I said that I got paid for something. And so I gave it to them and then they ran it. And then of course I said, keep it. I said, I want my account frozen until that check clears. And it didn't clear, of course.
When we ran the signature at the bottom right-hand corner of the check, we got some hits on that signature.
When we ran a reverse image search on this check, we found hundreds of fraudulent checks all over the internet with this same exact signature. The scammer just photoshopped the signature into the check and sent it to Michaela.
When these scammers create a fake check, they'll use this specific signature a lot.
Yeah, I figured that.
So why would he send you a fake check though with a fake signature?
Oh yeah, guarantee fake checks. Yeah,
that was one of the first things to throw up a red flag for me.
So we also looked into some of the chat conversations you sent us. One of the main things that stood out to us from those chats is the picture of the lasagna he sent you.
Here we go.
Michaela, he didn't make this lasagna.
Martha Stewart did.
We actually found it in Martha Stewart's cookbook. This image is all over the internet, and this recipe is actually
looks good though, doesn't it?
So that's where it came from. I was about to say, I was like, that does not look like. It kind of looks like it, but at the same time, I'm like, fishy.
Yeah, so basically, he went on to Martha Stewart's internet cookbook, screenshotted this photo, and when you asked him a question, he said he was too busy because he was working on this.
Making lasagna.
And all he did was just steal that from there and then send it to you.
That is so funny, though, isn't it?
I knew that whoever it was, either they were pretty good at cooking or they got it from somewhere and I did nowhere. So I already kind of figured that one too.
Due to the fact that this guy sent you so many things that are from so many different places all over the internet,
right, sarcasm.
we come to the conclusion
I need a title for this
what's
part.
called a romance scammer. He's done
Lasagna
research
more
on
than
you.
meets the eye.
He's looked at your backstage profile, your Facebook, and he's basically morphing himself into this person that you want him to be, and also attaching Dacre Montgomery's
the amazing case of the fraudulent lasagna.
Scammers spend hours and days researching an individual before attempting to extract any money from them.
Scammed by
Their objective
lasagna.
is to identify the target's vulnerabilities. They spend days delving into every aspect of their lives. The purpose of their research is to establish a connection with their victims. They'll exploit sensitive situations such as the aftermath of a divorce or the loss of a friend or a family member. It's a strategy that scammers have been using for years.
Okay. I hadn't told him anything about my toxic ex-husband, and he just kind of vented me about that, about him and
Cassandra,
his
could you imagine if it was the
issues
husband?
or whatever. So I kind of...
If it was the husband, that is a absolutely amazing way to get out of a relationship, innit? Oh, maybe you should get rid of your husband. Right, I'm going to get rid of him now. You know, because he doesn't look like the bad guy in that situation. She is, because she fell for a celebrity scammer. Oh my God, if we just made up a plot, that is absolutely incredible. Literally. Oh, what a way for a husband to get out of a sticky situation. I'm going to pretend I'm someone else. I'm going to send you fake stuff. I'm going to send you a photo of a Martha Stewart lasagna. But you got to get rid of your husband. You know, he could just have been there. Oh, I don't want you anymore. Get rid of me. Get rid of you. Whatever. Boom. Yeah, Cassandra, the husband is not playing checkers. He's playing chess. Oh, so if it was the husband, it's even more fucked up. Yeah, 100%. But that is literally... That is the perfect plot for a comedy crime film, innit? It's so funny. The shirt... She's wearing it... Oh my days. Oh my days. Garfield strikes back.
kind of sympathize with that.
Garfield, he loves lasagna,
I was
didn't
like,
he?
well, that's kind of like how...
Oh my God, this is actually insane.
Around people, like I didn't tell him that, but I said, you know, I was just thinking around people, we act like we're the perfect family. Like we've got, you know, the kid, we've got apartment together, we've car together, you know, we've got all this, you know, picket fence kind of, you know, looking family. You close the door, it's nothing, you know, it's everything but. It's literally like, it's toxic, it's narcissism, it's just everything bad. So I was like, I kind of understand that from that angle.
Just with her talking about her relationship, I'm glad she's out of that, because it does sound like it was an absolute nightmare for her. So get rid of him, good, got rid of that. But obviously the whole situation of how she got rid of him, no, it's... She got rid of one person who was being horrible to her, just for another criminal. Insane.
But again, he didn't even know that at first. That's why I was like, I'll kind of keep this as my ace in my pocket. But I kind of understood that angle because I was coming from a spot like that. It's something that I can't really describe. It's like someone would just have to feel it to understand it.
This scammer targeted all of Michaela's vulnerabilities, tapping into her desire for creative, attractive, and attentive companion. The deception reached a deeper level when he shared his own struggle with his toxic relationship. Not to mention, he was her favorite actor on her favorite TV show.
So I've watched a lot of y'all's Scamfish episodes, and all the comments, there's so many comments saying, how could these people fall in love with these total strangers and send them money and blah, blah, blah. In my case, I'm just like, I just hope that it goes to help somebody.
Melby, that's nuts.
But as far as how can you fall in love with these people, I'm just like, love makes you do crazy, stupid, irrational things. I promise. And trauma does one heck of a thing to a person.
Oh God, yeah.
So instead of judging that person on why they done that to a total stranger that they had never met, maybe, you know, just kind of look and see if that person's ever been traumatized by something. Because if you're someone like me, you're afraid of abandonment and you're a real big people pleaser and you're very codependent. So it's like maybe these people have these problems, and these scammers, they just kind of come in and they leech off that. It's a dopamine fix every time you wake up, every time you go to bed, several hours a day. It's a fix. It's a hit. Honestly, I think you guys are great. You've been fantastic to talk to. It seems like you guys actually do your research, which is great, because I sure couldn't do it. Like the lasagna photo, I could not have found that. I wouldn't have even thought to look into Martha Stewart cookbook.
Google reverse.
But I think that the team's been great. You guys have been great to just talk to and work with.
The best thing to do is just block him straight away. Very thorough.
And I can't say much more that hasn't already been said. I mean, you guys have done everything, and I'm very appreciative of it, because now it's like there's no longer any sort of wiggle room anywhere.
Well, Michaela, we appreciate you so much. We really enjoyed, talking to you and helping you through this whole thing. We hope that you just stay safe online. Remember, anytime anybody asks you for money, it's 10 times out of 10, it's a scam. Yeah. So just try to stay safe, okay?
Will do.
Yeah, so she blocked Dacre's fake profile and decided to take a break from the internet. She wants to spend more quality time with her daughter. Good. Our next step is getting her to report this scam by filing a police report.
Remember, and subscribe.
Exactly.
Alright, Seekers. We'll see you guys next.
Absolutely nuts. Holy moly. But, well, saying that, Angel, she says, she's a photographer and all this kind of stuff, and, she has to use these sort of things, say, Photoshop or whatever. So she should know a little bit about it, but it's sad to see that out of everyone that we've seen so far, I don't feel like she's like we were with the other ones. Like, oh my God, you're stupid. But again, with her saying that she was in that type of relationship, and that's exactly how these people jump onto you. That's what they do. And it's sad. It is very sad to see.